Apple just changed the AI game, and most business owners have no idea it affects them. Today, at their big developer conference, Apple announced a completely rebuilt Siri, and here's the part that matters. Starting with the next iPhone update, your phone can route everything you say to Siri through a third-party AI. Claude, ChatGPT, or Google's Gemini, your pick. The new Siri also reads your emails, your texts, your photos, your calendar, and your contacts to answer you. Sounds convenient. But if your team uses iPhones for work, and they do, this just quietly became a business risk you're carrying right now. Stay with me, because in the next 9 minutes I'll show you exactly where your exposure is and the 3 questions to ask before this update lands on every phone in your office. Let me lay out what Apple actually announced today, because it's bigger than a software update. The headline is a brand new Siri, rebuilt from the ground up. The old Siri could set a timer and not much else. This new one works like ChatGPT or Claude. You can have a real back-and-forth conversation with it, by voice or by typing. And Apple built a standalone Siri app that looks just like those chatbots, with an Ask Siri bar right at the top. This is Apple going all in on AI assistance, on a device that's already in your pocket and in the pocket of every employee you have. Here's the piece that's genuinely new. Apple is adding something called extensions. In the next version of the iPhone software, iOS 27, you'll be able to pick which AI actually answers you. You can keep Apple's Siri, or you can switch it to Claude, to Gemini, or to ChatGPT right inside the phone. So when someone on your team asks their phone a question, that question, and whatever context goes with it, can get sent off to Anthropic, or Google, or OpenAI. 3 different outside companies, each with their own servers and their own rules about what they keep. And your employee picks which one, not you. And this is the part I really want you to hear. To be helpful, the new Siri plugs deep into the phone. Apple says it can see your emails, your text messages, your photos, your calendar, your contacts, and your notes. That's the whole point. It pulls from all of it so it can answer you like an assistant who knows your life. Now picture that same assistant on a work phone. Those emails are client emails. Those contacts are your customer list. Those notes might be deal terms or a patient's information or a case file. The AI doesn't know the difference between your grocery list and your most sensitive business data. It just reads all of it. And here's a detail that tells you how serious this is. The brain behind the new default Siri isn't even Apple's. Apple is reportedly paying Google around $1 billion a year to license a custom version of Gemini, a model with about 1.2 trillion parts to it, to run Siri behind the scenes. So even the standard Siri is sending information to Google's AI to do its job. The biggest, most privacy-marketed company on Earth decided it couldn't build this alone. That should tell you something about how much data these systems need to work and where that data goes. So why is an iPhone announcement a business risk story? Because of one thing almost every small business does without thinking about it. Your team uses their own phones for work. Your office manager checks email on her iPhone. Your sales guy has every client's number in his contacts. You text customers from the phone in your pocket right now. We call that bring your own device, and it's everywhere. It's cheap, it's easy, nobody set it up on purpose. And this update means all of those work phones are about to start feeding work information into outside AI systems, automatically, the moment people tap update. Let's get concrete about what actually leaves. When that AI reads an employee's email to answer a question, your client's email leaves your control. When it pulls from contacts, your customer list, the thing your whole business is built on, touches an outside server. When it summarizes a note, whatever's in that note goes with it. None of this is hacking. Nobody broke in. Your own team handed it over by saying yes to a helpful feature. And here's the quiet problem. You probably have no idea it's happening, no record of what went where, and no way to get it back. And if you're in a regulated field, this gets worse, fast. Say you run a medical office, a law firm, an accounting practice, a financial advisor's office. You're legally required to protect your client's information. Now your front desk person has the new Siri reading patient emails or client files to help them work faster. That information just went to a third-party AI you never vetted and never signed an agreement with. In healthcare, that can be a HIPAA violation. For a lawyer, it can break confidentiality. For a financial advisor, it can break privacy rules you're licensed under. And the fines for those don't care that it was an accident. And don't expect Apple or Google or OpenAI to take the hit when something goes wrong. We've already seen how these cases land. When a company's tool gives out wrong information or mishandles data, courts have put it on the company, not the software maker. Remember, Apple's setup lets your employee pick the AI. You didn't approve it. You didn't sign a contract with that AI company. But the client data is yours. The duty to protect it is yours. And when it leaks, the phone call from the angry customer or the regulator comes to you. The convenience is the employee's. The liability is the owner's. So sit with where that leaves you. Overnight, with one software update you didn't ask for, you became responsible for AI tools you never installed, never chose, and can't see. That's the whole shift. The technology walked in the front door on your employees' personal phones, and the responsibility for what it does landed on your desk. Most owners won't even know it happened until something goes wrong. So let's talk about what this actually costs, because every piece of this is an insurance question, and I'd bet most business owners listening have never asked a single one of them. First, cyber liability. When client information leaks out, whether a hacker took it or your own AI assistant quietly shipped it to an outside server, that's a data breach, and breaches are expensive. Notifying customers, credit monitoring, legal fees, fines, that's what cyber liability coverage is built for. Here's the problem. A lot of small business owners either don't carry it or they carry a thin version that only covers an outside attack. A leak through an employee's own phone, through a feature they turned on, might not look like a covered breach at all. That's the kind of gap you find out about after the fact. Second, professional liability, what we call errors and omissions. The new Siri can answer questions, summarize documents, draft replies. If your employee leans on it and the AI gets something wrong, a wrong number, a wrong date, a wrong term in a client document, and your team passes that along as fact, that's a professional error. And errors create liability. General liability, the policy most owners have, covers somebody slipping in your parking lot. It very likely does not cover bad work product that came out of an AI on a phone. Those are two different kinds of risk, and AI lives squarely in the second one. Third, regulatory and privacy exposure. This is the one that catches regulated businesses off guard. If protected information moves to an AI without the right agreements in place, you can be on the hook for fines under HIPAA, under state privacy laws, under the rules of your license. And here's the catch. A standard business policy usually doesn't pay those fines or the cost of fighting them. You often need specific coverage for it, and most owners have never been told that coverage exists, let alone bought it. The first time they hear the word is usually after a letter shows up. Fourth, and this ties it together, most small businesses have no written rules at all about employees using their own phones for company work. No policy, no settings, no list of what's allowed. That was already a soft spot. This Apple update just drove a truck through it. Because now those same unmanaged phones come with built-in AI that reaches into everything. An insurer looking at a claim is going to ask a simple question. What controls did you have in place? And if the honest answer is none, that's a hard place to be standing when you're asking them to pay. And here's the uncomfortable truth under all of it. The technology moved faster than the paperwork again. This AI lands on phones this summer. Your insurance policy, your employee handbook, your privacy practices, all of that was written for a world where this didn't exist. There's a gap between what your business is actually doing now and what your coverage was built to handle. And you really don't want to find that gap the way most people find it, in the middle of a claim, after the data's already gone. So here's what I want you to actually do, and none of it is hard. 1. Decide right now whether you're okay with employees turning on AI features that read company email and contacts and put that decision in writing. Even one paragraph is better than nothing. 2. Pull out your insurance and find out if you have cyber liability and privacy coverage at all, and whether it would respond to a leak through an employee's phone. 3. If you're in a regulated field, treat this as urgent, not someday. Those 3 steps take one short conversation, and that conversation is a lot cheaper than the alternative. My name is Dennis Hendrickson. I'm a licensed insurance broker in Sarasota, Florida, and I help business owners cover exactly this kind of risk: AI exposure, cyber liability, and commercial coverage. If your team runs on iPhones, and most of you do, it's worth 15 minutes to make sure your coverage caught up to what your phones are about to start doing. My contact information is right down in the description, and the first conversation doesn't cost you a thing. If this was useful, do me a favor and subscribe. Every single day we take one real AI and business story and break down what it actually means for your bottom line. Not the hype, the practical version. Apple just put AI on every phone in your office. Make sure you're the one who saw it coming. I'll see you tomorrow.